UUPN. Today, we're going to be talking about the homeless situation, the crisis, I should say, in the city of Portland. As you know, this show is constantly focused on how to end the homeless situation in the city. And for the past 2, 3 months now, it's been a concern of the mayors as well as other city officials on how they can find a solution to the homeless problem in Portland, Oregon. The situation is far greater than just making a suggestion, an idea. And that's what we're going to be talking about, the suggestions, the ideas they have help the homeless people in the city of Portland. The problem is this, okay? There's so many homeless people putting trash everywhere throughout the city, sleeping in places where they look half dead, okay? In some cases, you do find them dead, and drug paraphernalia all over the city. They're defecating in the streets. I've seen women just pull their pants down, their butts all hanging out, and they're shitting in the streets. Okay, and people pissing and stuff. I mean, it's not safe. Okay, and people spazzing out on drugs, loopy in the park or in the middle of the street. I mean, looking like zombies and stuff. It's a scary place. And what makes it even more dangerous is the fact that you can't tell who's homeless half the time. They'll get fancy clothes. You think they're hip hop gangster type of dude. No, he's a homeless dude that somebody donated some clothes to or something. Or you'll see a person in a business suit and they're not really a business person. They're another homeless person. And I remember a female that walked by me had this side boob thing going on and she was looking really nice, but she was homeless, And the cool part about it is they like it. They're satisfied and comfortable with how they are. But the situation is critical because you have over 6,000 people homeless in the city of Portland. That's a small town. So the state has to find a solution. And I know it's the city's problem, but the state itself has to figure out a problem because other states are telling the homeless people to come to Portland, Oregon, or Oregon, period, for help. But yet the thing about it is they're doing it because it's a liberal state and they're supposed to be helping people. Except for Portland only helps when it makes Portland look good. And that's just my belief system on that. So, we're going to be talking about some of the suggestions that they have to fix the city and the homeless problem in the city of Portland. Okay, but I'm going to also be talking about my own solutions to the homeless crisis in Portland. Ted Wheeler, the mayor, has been fighting hard for 3 months to try to figure out a way to end the trash problem in the city of Portland. But, he wants to get rid of the trash of the homeless people. He wanted to find people to clean the city. It was the prisoners doing it at first, but then they striked about not getting paid enough to do it. And so now that situation is over. So now they got people volunteering to clean, which is dangerous to me because you got people out here with needles, drug paraphernalia all over the place. You don't know what can be contaminated, what can be infected. And regardless of how good medication and, medical advances are, there is still a thing called HIV. There's still such a thing. Okay, you can get a needle, poke you, and next thing you know, you're fucked. Okay? So, I rip. Anyway, so we're gonna watch this video. This video is about the first solution that they have and to fix the homeless situation in the city of Portland. They're planning to hand out funds from the COVID crisis relief, which I believe is a horrible thing to do. Okay, not saying that the homeless people don't need money to help fix the situation, but there's enough of us already going through situations because of COVID. So we need that relief fund more than, well, I can't say more than homeless people. Let's just be real, but still, people with families are about to lose their homes because they can't pay rent. There's so much stuff going on, and that money needs to be put in the hands of the people and the businesses that were destroyed during all these riots and chaos throughout last year. So with that being said, I bring you the video of the first solution to fix the homeless problem in the city of Portland.
Back on some potential solutions, because over the next couple of weeks, we expect a lot more details to emerge about actually two plans, one from the city and one from the county, to get more than 1,000 people off the streets over the next year. And we're going to start with the cities because we got some updates on this one. As we first reported on Friday, the city wants to use $20 million in federal COVID relief aid to buy or lease land all over Portland, basically in every neighborhood, and build multiple organized outdoor camps. They're calling them safe rest villages. It is important to note the city hasn't chosen locations. We don't know how big these villages will be, and we don't know if they're tents or tiny homes. But Housing Commissioner Dan Ryan just told the Oregonian this week that officials will be bringing a proposed ordinance to the city council with more details on this. It could happen as soon as next Wednesday.
And we will have more dialogue about that. It's really important for us to take some steps in the right direction. We need some action. I think Portlanders are ready to see something different than what we're experiencing today. And so if we could have 6 of these villages up and running by the end of September, that's a step in the right direction.
6 villages by the end.
So as you just seen, the city has a plan to spend $20 million of relief fund money, COVID relief fund money. And they want to make 6 villages, to get 1,000 people off the streets. Good plan, kind of. But here's my solution. The mayor and other city officials come together and talk to Governor Kate Brown. Ask Governor Kate Brown, is there a way that the city could take at least $5 million of the money and purchase some land in Eastern Oregon, okay? And be able to, because an acre is only 90 yards. So pretty much like half of pretty much a football field. That's just 1 acre, okay? So if 1 acre is 90 yards, imagine what over 100 to 300 acres of land would be. You could easily purchase that for damn near less than fucking $4 million. Okay? That's more than enough land to house the homeless people, more than enough land to purchase homes and be able to follow this plan by building these things in that land to make a small town. Now, these things are needed to make a town, as well as coming together and trying to put medical facilities in there, job training facilities, teach these people how to farm, how to, create things off the land, all kinds of things. Educate them in mechanics, things they're going to need for people that may travel through that area. So that's something that's less money and less chaotic, because if you add these 6 villages and you put 1,000 people in there or more, okay, it's just going to add more problems. It's bad enough the city's getting larger, but to have people stacked on top of people is no good, because that's just going to make it more harder for people to get along, survive. And then with the COVID going on, you don't know who's spreading what to where. And then once again, the people who sit in the city that are homeless, that don't want to change, they don't want to get off the street. So if you put those same people in housing in these little villages, they're going to make more garbage again. They're going to make more mess. It's going to continue to keep going on. So it's a simple solution. Very simple, I'm telling you. I checked it out. It was 170 acre land, somewhere towards Madras or Great Grants Pass, in between there. And that's a little distance between each other. But either way, it cost only what? $1,300,000. Okay? Way less, and it's only 170 acres land. Like I said, 1 acre is 90 yards. It's half, a football field and like like a little inch, like 10 inches, okay? First and 10, okay? I'm talking about football. So, that's a damn good solution. You put, like I said, these uh, businesses and things in there, and they have their own little town. And like I said, medical facilities, mental health facilities, um, job training facilities, and people can be reestablished. That way, if this scenario happens again and other states start bringing their homeless and people they feel are worthless causes to the city of Portland, the city of Portland always has a solution. There's enough land for people out there. And so even if there's a thing, I know there's a whole environmental thing, or, we're worried about taking away natural land and stuff, but think about it. You got all these people, you put them out there. One main job of their focus of being out there is to try to grow trees and things to try to make oxygen and trying to help the environment. And we can make them, plant things, be able to make a giant garden or hatchery or something of that nature, then we might be, cutting down on the whole greenhouse gas thing or whatever and bring more oxygen to Earth. That's really the whole thing about the ozone layer being depleted is just adding more trees, adding more plant life. Yes, there's less carbon emissions, but at the same time, carbon emissions doesn't really work if you get rid of all the cars and all that, because we already get carbon from the sun, the carbon-14, because hydrogen hits the sun, mutates to a form of carbon known as C14. So, and it gets inside all plant life on Earth. We eat the plant life, which actually shortens our lifespan, as well as the animal life on this planet. That's why they always say in the Bible that people live to be 900 years old or whatever. But, the ozone layer started depleting back then. That's why people started living shorter and shorter lives as time went on, and that's from the water of the firmament. It's a whole different subject. I won't get into that. Science is my nerd thing and biblical thing. So all I'm going to say is this, okay? It's so simple. And this whole thing is going to be talked about this week, this Wednesday, okay? On, let's see, the 10th, because the day is the 6th, 7th. Anyway, Wednesday. So, like I said, that's an idea worth thinking about. I don't see why it shouldn't work. And it would make the city a lot safer. And wherever the people that's buying the drugs are going, that's where the drug user, dealer guys, and everything else is going to go. So, win-win, and no one's living on top of each other, and it's not like New York, it's still Portland. Anyway, here's the next video. And the next video is another solution. I think it's by county officials or something. But this one here is way more money than what we're talking about with the $20 million relief fund. So see for yourself.
So we'll keep you posted. Okay, on that note, on to the county's plan now. And this one is tied to one of those housing bond measures that a lot of you have been asking about. Because in May of last year, a lot of our viewers asked, they remember this, metro area voters approved the Here Together Supportive Services measure. And that money starts coming in on July 1st. So County Chair Deborah Kafoury says they'll start using it right away to get people off the streets and into supportive housing. And supportive housing means housing units, in this case, that are already built and they're already available, and they come with wraparound services attached that help people who are battling addiction and mental health issues, things like that. The biggest headline here, the chair says this measure will allow the county to devote $1 billion to this mission over 10 years. And here's how big of a dent she says this could make.
The money that we are going to raise from this measure will go in this next year alone to house as many as 1,300 households. So 1,300 people and their partners potentially will be off the streets, out of shelters, and into permanent housing.
We are talking about housing the unsheltered. Like when you say off the streets, we talk a lot, you and I have talked before about what's needed to keep people in their housing or people, in all different kinds of circumstances. But that's a specific demographic.
Correct. This measure, 75% of the dollars are focused on people who are chronically homeless, and that means that they've been homeless for more than 2 years. And so those are the majority of the folks that you see when you're walking around town. People who are living in tents, or and also people who are living in our shelters.
So, as you can see, they want to spend billions of dollars to do this crazy program to, house the people and, keep them in the city of Portland. And it's just crazy, man. Like I said, you can buy like at least, you want to make it a little big, make it 400 acres of land, okay? Like I showed you, you can put all these little businesses in there, and I know you're probably thinking, well, Shelby, to put all those businesses there, it's going to cost more money. But no, it's not. If you put a fast food restaurant there, franchise, tell that McDonald's, like, hey, we want you to build a place here, they'll do it. And they want to make money. Same thing with 7-Eleven. They got all these franchises. They'll help build something for you or whatever, work with you. But besides the fact, one way, that they can take time to build these things for the homeless people and still get the homeless people places that they can call their own is to bring back the Homestead Act in Oregon. Okay? The Homestead Act is in Oregon, but as you can see here, this is the guidelines for the Homestead Act in Oregon. And these guidelines represent like pretty much people trying to buy homes or have homes. There's nothing to do with the original way it was created by Abraham Lincoln to be able to, in Abraham Lincoln's way of the Homestead Act was 160 acres of land that a person can live on, and if they could prove they could live there for a certain amount of time, the land is theirs. Okay? Now, this is also used, because Abraham Lincoln made it, it's that 40 acres in a mule tank. But people don't know about it because no one talks about the Homestead Act. It only exists in like a couple states. Alaska is one of them. Colorado is another one. You can live on in the land in somewhere in Colorado for 2 years. You own that land. So bring back the Homestead Act, but put it in certain regions where, there's a lot of land, okay? Land that people can probably grow something on or whatever. Even if you can't grow something on it, go build something on there, and be able to call it your own, and that will, who knows, if you did this, it might be able to be a town that people will remember. Like, oh, you ever heard of Flatston? You know what I'm saying? Flatston's this place in Oregon that was created when Portland decided to buy land and bring homeless people there. And now Flatston makes the best fabric materials in the world. You never know. You never know. So it's like, let's give these people opportunity to try to grow and make something out of their lives instead of just stacking them on top of people who's already trying to survive in a chaotic city, or just a city that's going to hell, turning Gotham. It's Gotham City, okay? I live in Gotham. This is Gotham City. Riots all the time. Supervillains running around fucking shit up, okay? And on top of that, homeless people that's running around trying to just make chaos for regular people, make them uncomfortable. Next thing you know, somebody can come out of a movie theater, a homeless dude gonna try to grab some chick's pearl necklace, and boom, Batman's created and fucked it up for everybody. Okay? Batman running around, bitch slapping people, and all because nobody will sit back and take the time to actually truly think about expanding, okay? Making more places available for people to live, not just in one spot, but in multiple places. And like I said, you make a program where these people can build things, okay? Like They go and they make a hatchery. They're making a greenhouse that they grow plants, and then when the plants are strong enough to be on the outside of the greenhouse, you put them in the land. You put them in the woods and land, and even have them terraform. Pretty much is what I'm trying to say. Have them terraform areas that may not be able to be grow things on. Maybe you can grow things on it if you terraform it a certain way. You never know. There's all types of ways of plant and soil science that people don't explore because they go on to certain things that they're only known about like a couple times. It's like Egypt, they had their whole thing, and they was able to keep a place that was pretty much an oasis in the desert back in the ancient times, but yet now it's just desert. But think about it, we're talking about something that was a tropical oasis. How did they do that? You know what I'm saying? They were able to take water and be able to give enough water to plants daily enough to so they'd be able to grow massive portions and survive. I know this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but just hear me out. People need hope. Without hope, everything is lost. Your whole struggle for survival is lost. Your plans to try to succeed, to gain, to grow, to have a family, it's all lost. Because without hope, you're pretty much dead inside. It's like the story of Pandora's box. She let out all these things into the world, fear, death, and all this crap. But one thing a couple things she was able to keep in the box was hope. Love was another one. I forget what the other ones was, which is odd because the goddess of love is Aphrodite. It's a long story. But, you just got to know your Greek like I do. But the Homestead Act needs to be brought back. So what I'm saying is this, okay? Instead of me keep rambling, you bring the Homestead Act back, okay? You take these people that are homeless, around 6,000 people, okay? You let them put their own spots up. In the meantime, you put a restroom, shower type area out there. Like, when you're in the campgrounds, they got a shower, bathroom areas, what do you call it, rest stops type of thing. You make a couple of those. You put a little food area and stuff. This is just to start off with. And a little medical facility, a care center, or, a clinic, and, mental health facility, as well as a place to teach them skills that could help them build their own place out there. And so they'll be able to feel more functional, be feeling more like a normal person, like they're trying to succeed and achieve something. They'll start feeling better about themselves. Okay? And by doing this, it takes the city time to come up with the money to build the rest of these things these people need. And month by month, because they build crap so quick nowadays, it makes no sense. Okay? It used to take months and years. Now it just takes like a couple months, or in some cases a couple weeks, 4 weeks or something, or 3, whatever. But this is what you do. You let them find their own little spots they want to put tents in, which this is another reason why this whole plan of mine makes sense. They have tents. They have tents. Okay? Put them in a place where they can actually put the tents in the ground and be able to be around nature and stuff. Like me, I don't get it. It's like there's water out in nature. They can bathe. In the city, you can't. And it makes no sense unless they're jumping in the Willamette River, or that's nasty. Okay, so just my whole point is just this. Okay, let them have that back. Bring the governor, come to Governor Brown and explain that the Homestead Act needs to be rethought of in Oregon, and allow that to happen so that people can go out there. It's the same case with Seattle and California. California got Death Valley. There's nothing out in Death Valley. Open up some land in Death Valley, see if they can terraform, like I said, build a couple facilities. You never know what could happen. You could probably make towns that are great, and who knows what diamond in the rough would come out of that. You know what I'm saying? What good creation could be created amongst this town of people that were pretty much forgotten by society. You know, some of the best people come from the worst conditions, you know. So, with that being said, now the next clip I want to show you guys is a clip of what happened a month ago. I'm a little behind and I can't find some of the new stuff I want. But anyway, the mayor has this whole cleaning the city thing. He's obsessed with it. Okay, and he has a right to be. I mean, we walk around, it just looks like a junkyard, you know, and it's places where kids shouldn't be at and stuff, you know, and other people as well. So the thing about it is, like I said, they got rid of prisoners cleaning up the garbage that the homeless people create. And at the same time, they're trying to hire people to clean up these parts of the city. The only thing I believe is they need to pay them more. And they got volunteers doing it right now, which is dangerous, like I said. And so I believe that they should raise the fee to like $20, $25 an hour to clean these parts of the city. But cleaning the city is just a small bit of the problem. I mean, you can get the solution by cleaning the city. Yeah, it'll be fine. But then, once again, there's going to be more trash. Why? Because there's still homeless people. You got to kill the virus at the root, not just nip at it. And by taking rid of garbage, it's not going to fix the solution. The garbage will continue to come as long as the homeless people are still populating the city the way they are. And so that's why I say it's time to use a solution where they have their own town. Anyway, enough of me. Here's a clip.
PDX Portland Airport.
We don't have to tell you, Portland has a trash problem. It has for a while. We started digging into this more than a month ago and found in 2020 and continuing into 2021, the city has been cleaning up more trash than ever. Same goes with graffiti, but you wouldn't know it. In fact, the departments tasked with cleaning it all up say they're out of money.
They look around and they see litter or they see graffiti as something.
Portland's mayor last month told me he gets it, and he promised help is on the way. He just couldn't say how much help or when.
I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver.
But Mayor Wheeler did tell us his newest hire would lead the charge. Former Mayor Sam Adams, brought back into City Hall life to tackle all things livability, trash being one of them. In the weeks since, we've been reaching out regularly, asking the city, what's the plan? Is it ready? Can Sam talk to us? No dice. Until this week. His office telling us, tune in Friday at noon.
We begin with a conversation about livability, economic recovery, and resiliency.
Enter Mayor Ted Wheeler's State of the City address via the Portland City Club's live broadcast. The mayor touched on several issues plaguing our city: homelessness, gun violence, protests, and trash.
Portland needs a deep clean.
Noting the pandemic paused major cleanups and sweeps of homeless camps, the mayor said those have begun again. Then, the announcement.
Today, I'm excited to announce the launch of the city's Clean and Green citywide cleanup initiative led by former Mayor Sam Adams.
The mayor said Friday he's pulling together all city bureaus and local agencies, including Metro, the Port of Portland, and ODOT, to ramp up cleanup efforts in Portland. But when that will start or how much it will cost, no news on that quite yet. Mayor Wheeler telling the Oregonian his administration is finalizing plans, but that he will seek to expand multiple sanitation programs in this year's budget, including increasing trash collection in and around homeless camps. In the meantime, he's asking Portlanders to get involved in volunteer cleanup programs like Solve. And he pointed out Clean and Green already has a big donor. Columbia Sportswear CEO Tim Boyle is chipping in $100,000 to Clean and Green. Columbia confirming that detail. For Portlanders, the help can't come soon enough. So, of course...
Hi, and welcome back. As you can see, the mayor has a solution for cleaning up the city. He also gathered the former mayor, Sam Adams. Funny story, I actually voted for Sam Adams because he's named after the beer. Or at least I thought he was. And I thought because he was named like the beer, you might be a good mayor, but that didn't happen. Anyway, anyway, I have to say this, okay? I understand what Portland tried to do. I understand what Seattle, California tried to do. Try to help the homeless. You're trying to say that you're helping people in need. But it doesn't become helping when you turn a blind eye to what's going on. It doesn't become helping when you're acting like it's okay with the way they're treating things in the city. It becomes enabling, okay? It becomes a form of trying to accept things with just the ease, and it's not good. So with this being said, we must move steadily forward to try to help mankind and better the people who are at risk of endangering the lives of themselves and of others. This is Shelby Kiles, signing out. Peace be with you all, and blessings upon you. Have a good night.